In part one, we described the 3 elements needed for a solid fitness program, the trilogy of fitness: your cardio program, your nutrition program, and then your strength program. Now what we want to look at is, well, what is the metabolism like for our bodies, and what is it with our goal as it relates to our day? One of the things that we want to help you understand is, and if you look at natural cycles, you look at natural rhythms, you look at what goes on the planet with every living creature, and the cycles of our seasons, winter, spring, summer, fall, and the cycle of our day and night. Well, everything on the planet is pretty much timed because that's the way our whole system works for the human body. And there's certain functions that occur while you sleep to heal and mend the body, and there's certain things that happen when we wake up and start moving the body. And one of the things is, the simplest way to describe it to people is when they start to exercise or wake up in the morning, their body temperature is going to start to rise. And at the beginning of the day, as you can see here, as you rise up out of bed and you start to move, you're going to find your metabolism starts to rise. Now we can really help peak this with some type of exercise first thing in the morning, and we can move this up to a relatively high pace a lot quicker by adding certain elements into our program design. Those will help to determine based on where you are when you come to see us when we start. We'll find out where you are and what the proper sequence should be and the proper starting point should be for your body based on your experience. So our main goal is to boost that metabolism first thing in the morning. And as you can see, there'll be sequences throughout the day where it'll rise and fall with a peak somewhere between 10 and 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and then it'll start to drop off as we go into the later hours of the evening. Now, how does this affect you, and how does this affect how we metabolize food? The thing that we want to understand is, if we ramp up our metabolism, which is what we should do first thing in the morning, it's really going to rev up our motor, kind of like the engine of a car. You want to get it nice and warm, and for those of you that have come from a colder environment in the Midwest and East, it gets really cold in the winter months. You want to warm up that car. Same thing with the human body. You want to have a proper and thorough warm-up. And once you do that and you start your exercise program, you accelerate the heart rate, you accelerate the calorie burning mechanism in the body. Now again, we can do a variety of things here in the morning, so we're going to figure out what it is your goals are and determine what's going to be the best course of action. Along with that, we're going to implement a nutrition program so that it's in line with what your goals are. Typically, we're going to eliminate a lot of the processed foods and go with a lot of whole foods, and then we're going to line up the amount of calories that you need with what your particular goal is as your long-range plan. So, during the course of a day, understand this, as simple as it needs to be. We want to ramp up that metabolism, we want to get it to peak, and then we want to match up what goes on with our activity levels and our intake of food. So when we start here at the beginning of the day, eating some of the bigger meals and then starting to taper off to smaller feedings throughout the end of the day, so that our body can take advantage of the natural rhythm. You want to eat breakfast like a king or a queen, lunch like a prince or a princess, and dinner like a pauper. Meaning bigger meals on the front end, tapering off to smaller meals on the back end of the day. As the metabolism slows down, as the sun sets, you want to try to reduce the quantity of calories that you eat. Now, I understand some people have different occupations, so their daytime and nighttime clock, their body clock, their rhythm might be slightly different. But just understand, when you wake up, that should be the largest meals of the day, and as you start moving towards the mid portion of the day, those meals should start to scale down to smaller and smaller portions. This is going to do a lot for a weight loss program. When you are sleeping, you are less likely to be active, you are less likely to burn a lot of calories, so that's going to make it really hard to lose weight. So we've got to get that sequence lined up for you. We're going to help you with that. This is the second part of the tutorial on what you should do for a complete fitness program.